Hello, my friends. My name is Israel Ben David, and welcome to the Communication Lab YouTube channel. This is my invitation video to the Open Dialogue Communication Lab, video that you can share with your friends in order to explain what this practice of open dialogue is all about. And welcome. Hello, how are you today? Considering myself, I'm really excited because this is my first video and it's in English. I live in Israel, in a very nice city in the north of the country. Its name is Rosh Pina, and it's in the Galilee, northern area in Israel. And I'm really excited to share with you my information about the Communication Lab and the Open Dialogue. And welcome, hello. So, what is the Open Dialogue and how does it resonate with us on the communication level, and especially with non-violent communication? Because part of the audience that come to Open Dialogue are coming in order to practice their skills in non-violent communication. Actually, non-violent communication is Marshall Rosenberg system of how we communicate in order to express ourselves non-violently, ecologically, happily, healthier. Open Dialogue comes and takes this practice on the next level. Okay, and that is something that is so exciting about that practice of open dialogue. And in this video I will tell you all about this, so you can choose for yourself whenever open dialogue is for you. And if you'd like to join, maybe you can have some results after some groups or sessions. And whenever those results are resonating with you and actually resonate with your needs, with what you really need in this moment of here and now. Okay, so let's start with the open dialogue. Okay, I will start with open dialogue and I will explain some principles of nonviolent communication that also used in this practice. Okay, open dialogue is transformational practice, awareness practice that is based, that was developed by Dr. Of physiology, psychophysiology in Russia. His name is Dmitry Shamenkov, and this practice is based on the theory of functional systems. Functional or living system theory that was developed by Peter Anokhin, Professor Peter Anokhin, in the previous century. Peter Anokhin was one of the students of famous Ivan Pavlov. If you remember the bell and the dog, actually the basic and tremendous innovation of Pavlov in those years about the reflect and the nature of the reflect. He discovered that in the same dog experience that stimulation causes some reaction. Okay, whenever there's a stimul, we have reaction. But Peter Anokhin later, after some decades, discovered that actually what moves us in the here and now is not the stimulation from our past, but the goal in our future. And it was mind-blowing revelation, and I will explain why. Actually, in the practice of open dialogue and the functional system theory, the goal is what defines our reaction in here and now. So the goal in the future is something that moves us forward and not something from the past. And actually, a theory of functional systems or living systems is about everything in the nature, inside our organism, bio-organism, in the social fields, and also in the nature, like different, different animals or plants, and etc, etc, etc. All the principles that were discovered, not invented, discovered as they function in the nature, in open dialogue come into aspect of communication. What we do in open dialogue, we're using that theory and we're building our ecosystem, very safe and ecological system of safe environment, that we are practicing our communicational skills on base of was theory of functional systems. Okay, there's some principles that we have to know before we start the practice, and in every start of the group, there's 2 hours group, first 20, maybe 30 minutes, I explain what is the basics and the principles of that functional systems, in order for us to create that safe environment so we can practice new, actually very, very new for most of us, skills of communication. And in this moment, I will tell you what are the skills of nonviolent communication, because most of the open dialogue, although it's based on something very scientific, like theory of functional systems, actually using the nonviolent communication. And what is nonviolent communication in few minutes? Okay, it's about our ability or skill to connect with oneself. So we know what our emotions and needs in the very moment. Okay, it's also about listening, but not just listening and hearing. It's also not just listening, but also hearing empathically, like we are developing our ability to be empathic to what's going on with others. Okay, as the same way that we connect with our needs and emotions and feelings in our own inner space, we can connect and listen to what happens on the other side of communication. Okay, and the third thing of non-violent communication is the very famous triangle of non-violent communication, is about expressing oneself in very clear and honest, authentic way. Okay, so those 3 skills are actually are trained. It's like kind of emotional fitness club, that we are training those skills, how to connect to inner emotions, to discover what the emotions are and whatever, how do we listen, and how do we express ourselves, not judging others, but expressing our own feelings and emotions in the same moment. Okay, so these are the skills that I practiced. And back to open dialogue, there's another principle that was recovered by Petra Nochen, that in the system there are some objects, and in our groups, for example, there are participants that creating with their attention and intention to participate that system. Okay, so whether the information between the objects is transferred in correct and adequate way, the system is more healthy. Okay, because something happens about the open dialogue and our inner participation or transformation that we are experiencing in the moment, is actually that we transform our emotional state from one to another. One, it can be very complex emotional emotional state, okay? It might be some skills that are not developed yet, so they create that conflicts in communication with others. It can be that we cannot listen to to others or to ourselves as well, okay? So whenever we communicate that and transfer, learn how to transfer the information in an honest way, we're actually moving from one state, inner, very personally, to another. And the big meta goal for that ecosystem, by the way, all functional systems, is the health. Meta goal is health. The whole definition of health is not about only about the absence of the diseases. Okay, it's not the only physical level of health, but the definition of health is defined on a much larger scale. What is this scale is about our emotional health. It's about mental health. It's about the ideas that we have. It's about spiritual realization. It's about our financial field or realization. It can be also about the communication, okay? So the meta goal of each living system is health. Why? Because each living system wants to survive. And we are, as the human beings, first of all, want to survive. Okay? So the meta goal and clear goal of health is basis of that safe environment that created inside those groups that allow us in very honest and very authentic way to move from one state, maybe complex emotions, to another of resourceful, helpful state of inner connection with oneself, and also developing those skills that I mentioned before. Okay, in these terms, what is important maybe to be said that there's few more principles that actually forming was living systems and also forming our specific safe environment that we are into, okay, in this open dialogue practice. Yet there's something about the first principle of goal that is important to be shared in those last moments of this video. Okay, and this is that the goal is artifact of our needs, and every living system moves from its need to its fulfillment. Actually, the fulfillment is the result of our action. And what was recovered in the theory of functional systems and also practiced in open dialogue is whenever we connect with our needs, we actually connect with the causes of the results that we have in our lives. So that's why it's so important to practice those skills that transform not only our communication level, but transform in very, again, ecological and safe environment, much more results in our lives than it ever can be imagined. Why? Because the verbal verbalization of our emotions, we relieve our complex feelings, we let them go on the first level, and when the train those skills, basic skills of NVC, non-violent communication, we improve those communicational skills in our lives, and something comes up when we especially connect to our needs in a moment that the results in the other parts, in the relationships, in financial field, in self-realization, in health, can transform as well, because we are connecting to what we are as human. and what is very important to us as human beings, okay? And the basis of any psychology, if you go to psychology, is our needs, is what we want, is what we can connect to. Okay, so this is the first video, and I would like to invite you to one of the groups that are held in Zoom, so you can connect with us whenever you have internet. Doesn't matter in what place geographically you are now on the globe, okay? And you can go to the link beside this video, maybe upside, whenever, you know, whenever social network you are using now, and just connect with us, and to tell you maybe your story, and to have some tasting group, and if it will resonate to you, I will be more than glad for you to join us, develop with us, and transform your life for better, resourceful state of inner happiness and well-being. So, good luck, and I hope to see you soon, to hear you soon, to be soon with you. Bye bye, guys.